Hello folks, this is David Hurley of EasyChessTips.com. This is the first in a series of short videos in which I will be looking at chess problems and their solutions. In this first problem, it is White's turn to move, and the problem is, what is White's best move? This particular problem was taken from an ebook available on Amazon Kindle called 100 Chess Problems for the Rest of Us by Tom Clem. The first thing to check when looking at this kind of problem is the material situation. So we see that each side has one bishop, one knight, and black has 4 pawns, whereas white only has 3. Also, black's pawns are in a better position. One pawn can support the other in each case, whereas white's pawns are isolated, so they cannot support each other. However, it is white's turn to move, and white has a decisive positional advantage. Very often in chess, you may have a material disadvantage, but if you have a positional advantage, that will help you to win the game. So the question is, what is the best move for white? And the next thing to do is to look at the areas of influence of the pieces. And this is the key piece here. We see that the knight is defending these squares here, which are not decisive in this phase of the game. But the bishop is the key piece. The bishop is attacking the king through the knight. This means that the knight cannot move. The knight is pinned by the bishop to the king. The knight is in a pin. The knight has been pinned by the bishop. The knight cannot move. So the best move for white is to advance the e-pawn 2 squares to e4 to attack the knight. Because the knight cannot move, in the next turn or one shortly thereafter, the pawn will be able to take the knight, which gives white a very nice positional and material advantage together. So in a position like this, there is not really much black can do. Let's suppose that black decides to grab the knight in a knight-bishop exchange. This now gives white a choice, a very nice choice to have. White can choose to capture the knight with the e-pawn or the bishop with the h-pawn. So the first one to take in this case is take the bishop first, because the knight is pinned. The knight is like a piece in the bank. The knight cannot move. The king is still on the line of the bishop on that diagonal. So you take the knight, take the bishop first, and then whatever black does, no, not with that piece, the pawn takes the knight, and here we see how the position greatly improves for white, and white will now be able to bring this piece up here, bring the pawn up, promote the pawn to a queen, and win the game. Okay, folks, that's all from me, David Hurley of Easy Chess Tips. Until the next video, looking at problem number 2.